Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey today. These are the readings for the human design profile, and also there will be readings for the human design types. So stick around, for that. We're going to be using the Spellcaster's tarot, which I love because this is probably one of the first 5 tarot decks I ever got. And I haven't used this deck probably actually in years. So before every reading, I do ask the deck if it wants to do all 16 now of the readings, and I'll just shuffle until it kicks out basically like a yes or no card. And the one deck I wanted to use, because I also haven't used it in a few years, gave me the 3 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles. And I was like, okay, you are not in the mood for work. So, so then like this one was actually sitting right next to it. And I was like, ooh, what about EU? And it was like an immediate yes. So I love that. Also, the other deck that I wanted to use, part of the reason why I went to that one was because this wasn't recent. It was like in the last couple months. I actually went back and watched the first videos that I put out. And I think that was in December of 2021. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to see. I wanted to see how it was or whatever. I don't know. But I'm not going to lie. I also was really expecting to be kind of embarrassed or like cringe, and I really only listened to my sun and rising ones, but I was not embarrassed or like cringy or anything, honestly, at all. Like, I was actually really fucking proud of myself, which is so funny because I was not expecting that reaction, which, that kind of sucks. Like that, I really do need to like give myself a break. But I left a comment though on every video. And of course I just, copied and pasted, but I just left a comment that said, hey Liz, this is Liz from 2025. And I just want to tell you like how fucking proud I am of you because you started this, like I was so nervous and I thought for sure you were going to be able to hear it in my voice. I thought for sure I was going to be stumbling over my words. I thought for sure that, that I was just going to like be continuously losing my words because I do that a lot, and just fumbling all over the place, but I wasn't at all, or not maybe to the extent that I thought. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so I left, a comment and I was just like, man, like I am so fucking proud of you. And you're the one that felt the fear and did it anyway. And granted, I don't know exactly what I said in that comment. I could look it up, but something along these lines, just telling myself I'm proud of myself, because that past version of me is why I'm even still here. And also why I'm going to be teaching an intro to tarot class at this wonderful, experience boutique next month, which I never thought I would do. So it's just, it was really cool. And I'm so glad that I did that too. Also, the other thing that was kind of funny is that in the intro of those videos, I was like, the acronym for Heretic Owl is HO. So I was like, if you're a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Or if you want to be a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Which I just think is absolutely hilarious. Like, hoe is one of my favorite endearing words. Like, I do not use it like at derogatory. I know people do. I don't, but yeah, so if you want to be a hoe, subscribe to the channel. Be a hoe with the rest of us. But also, like, you know, Heretic Owl Tarot is hot. So, you know, being a hoe makes you hot, you know, or whatever. I can't say, like, you know, do hot girl shit because I don't know if Megan Thee Stallion trademarked that. But anyway, just funny. Just funny. And also too, like I said, like I just remember being so fucking nervous. I literally, I had a phone that barely had any memory on it. I had a computer that barely had any, I could literally only do one video at a time because I didn't have memory or storage on like any device, you know, to actually do multiple videos at a time. And I was using like a folding table, and I had my, I should have grabbed it actually. I had my little owl stone or whatever, which I do still have. But anyway, yeah, very cool. So that's all I'll say. This is the second time I'm actually recording this intro because the first time I was like blabbering on for literally like 15 minutes. So that's it. Oh, that's not it. We're going to do these readings a little bit different this time. And this is also like the way that I've been reading for myself lately. I've been pulling like 2 sets of cards. The first set is the lie, which is the obstacle, or of course, I mean, literally the lie, right? That we're either telling ourselves that usually is like what we're telling ourselves. You know, it could be the limiting belief, old stuff, you know, whatever is also like holding you back or keeping you small. And then the other side is going to be the truth. And of course, right, I mean, I feel like that is pretty self-explanatory. It's a little bit similar-ish to the 333 readings that I do, which is like the door and the key. Similar-ish. But I've already done the 1-3 reading actually, and oh my gosh, that was beautiful. So no doubt all of these readings will turn out that way. And also I believe that the truth is so imperative right now, and especially because we are being bombarded with the depth and the expanse of lies that literally like our whole lives, you know, like the economy, the government, the, you know, the, you know, billionaire class, or, you know, like whatever you want to, whatever, you know, we are literally being bombarded with like how much of that shit is lies, how much we've been fed, you know, like lie wise. And, I think it is imperative, like I said, right now to really hone in on your truth, accept what is true for you as well. And also, again, like even recognize the lies that we're telling ourselves, the limiting beliefs that we're telling ourselves, the identities that we've been, you know, carrying around or operating from, the conditioning, really, because, you know, I mean, with human design, like a big part of it is the deconditioning process. And I really do think that by more people honoring their own truth, it really is, you know, going to shift the world. So that's kind of also like where that's coming from. So I will officially leave it there, and we'll get into the readings. Okay, so this is the reading for the 1-4 human design profile, the investigator opportunist. If you don't know what your human design profile is, there is a link in the description for you to get your human design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there, and your type will be listed on there as well. So I will get those readings out. This is why this is actually the problem. Hang on. Sorry. That was my fault. Anyway, so yes. Human design type readings will be done after I get the profile readings done, and blah, blah, blah. I kind of feel like I was like shuffling without really intention. And I think that's kind of why it was kind of starting to go all over the place. But like I said in the intro, we are doing what is the lie and then what is the truth. So I really kind of only want like maybe 2 or 3 cards. I don't really, obviously I don't want it to be, sorry, it was like I re-recorded the intro. Also, usually like when I feel like all over the place, I will blame whoever I am reading for. So I'm just kind of curious, like, how are you doing? Like, do you feel all over the place? Do you feel scattered? It's almost like a little bit of ADHD, and I always like, whenever I picture that in my head, I picture being like pinballed around. That also happened to me yesterday, actually. Like you just get started with a task and then you just somehow wind up doing another task. Oh, poop. Did I? Delete it. So I'm assuming that this is going to be part of the reading, and I will cut out any. Let me just make sure. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So yeah, how are you? Because I literally I just did the intro, and then I immediately like went into your reading, and I was not this, I don't want to say like unfocused, but just almost even trying to like multitask. But I used to be really good at that. And then the older that I got, I'm like, okay, I can't count and talk at the same time. Like I can't count in my head and talk at the same time. So anyway, let's get focused. Let's get dangerous, like Darkwing Duck used to say. And let's get a couple cards for the lie. What is the lie for our 1/4s? I don't take the cards that flip in the deck. All of my decks, we've had, one-on-one individual conversations about that. If there's a message, then they know that the card has to actually come out of the deck like that. We have the 2 of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. What the hell? What is the truth? What is the truth? The 4 of Cups. One more card. Well, that's 2, but I didn't really read the bottom of the deck for the last reading. If it kind of oh my God. If it becomes important, geez. Okay. all of a sudden, because also like I have this cushion that I sit on, like on this seat, and all of a sudden it was being weird. So we're just going to accept the chaos, because what else would you do? There are a couple things I want to look up. I wanted to look up, you're not going to be able to see this. And quite frankly, I've never even seen it. I haven't seen it before. On this snake, or on the serpent here, there's a word, apep. It's APEP. So I wanted to look that up, because on this creature over here, it says set. And the apep, and I have no clue if I'm actually saying that correctly, but apep or Apophis is the ancient Egyptian deity embodying chaos, darkness, and evil, taken the form of a colossal serpent that dwelt in the Duat, or the underworld, as a sworn enemy of the sun god Ra. Apep attempted to destroy the solar boat nightly to plunge the world into disorder. I wonder, like, okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, this is just, okay. Set was Ra's loyal bodyguard, protecting his sun barge from Apep every night so that he wouldn't destroy the world. According to earlier versions of the myth, he even repented after Horus took back the throne and went back to his old duty. I am not familiar but I do think that it is Set doesn't represent natural evil, but actually in opposition to the status quo. He goes against stagnation. He doesn't act in moral evil, at least not by Egyptian standards. I'm just reading this Reddit post that is titled Set's Relationship with Apep. And again, I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong. Like, it just doesn't sound right. But anyway, interesting that even came up. Like, what? That's just really interesting. And also like the what was coming to my mind first when these two cards came out was some sort of like resistance, or, just some belief about not being able to make moves, not being able to enforce change in some capacity. It's interesting that this monkey, which I wonder if it even has meaning, and it's like literally smiling, which maybe it's snarling, but it kind of looks like it's smiling to me. And it's blindfolded. It has its hand at Aries. Neptune and Saturn just went into Aries. Right, and like that's like a whole thing. They're like conjunct, but I believe on the 20th they're going to be exactly conjunct, which hasn't happened, and they keep saying like thousands of years or something like that. But then the snake over here is at Cancer. Jupiter's in Cancer, right? This is a card of Jupiter, also the Wheel of Fortune. I believe it's in retrograde right now. And then Set is over here kind of between Sagittarius and Aquarius. It's just because it's a long body, really, I kept looking at Capricorn. But we do have an eclipse happening in Aquarius on the 17th, which is also, the Chinese New Year. So it's interesting because also like in the 1-3 reading, and I halfway wonder if this is going to be maybe the theme throughout all of the readings, because there does generally tend to be a theme that presents itself. If transits are going to be important, whether you are aware of what those transits are or not, it still happens. Like there's still things happening that we can correlate our lives, to. Anyway, but, we can see in this Two of Wands here, which is usually a card of like planning for the future, right? It's like trying to consider like all of the possibilities at which you can approach something. What possibilities are available for you to take action towards? Because, wands have to do with action. The motivation behind the actions that you take, creativity, passion. I also see wands as being information by way of experience, because that's what we get by trying things. We figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do we like, what don't we like. And truly the only way to figure those things out is by doing. Literally, right? Like how many times have you thought you were going to love something, you tried it and you're like, this fucking sucks? Or how many times did you thought that you were going to hate something and turned out that it wasn't actually that bad, Or, no doubt there's been plenty of times where you thought you'd love something and you did, that you thought you hated something and you absolutely did, right? But again, like you got that information by trying. And it's interesting that in this Two of Wands, they're like just kind of lollygagging. Lollygagging. It's interesting because the hand is tied to this wand and the leg is tied to this wand over here. And they're just like kind of focused on this bird over here. And it's really avoidant is how it's coming through. Because they could untie themselves if they wanted to. But there is this feeling of helplessness, or that, again, like I think I said at the, when I first saw these cards, just feeling like not capable of change, not even sure too, like, with the two of all the change is coming from the Wheel of Fortune. No matter what and where this card comes up, it talks about things changing. However things have been going, there's going to be a shift in that. Like the wheel is turning. I always see the Wheel of Fortune as being a good card. I don't really care. Even if it shows up in the lie, it just is saying like change is available to you, but you're either focusing on the wrong thing, you're insecure maybe. It's a lack of action that is not allowing the wheel to move, because it's like one of those things too, like if you just started to try something, like if you just followed your interest, if you followed even your intuition, if you no doubt have a thought of something that you do actually want to do or take action towards, this is also even like getting out of the planning phase. Like it's kind of like you've considered enough. And now even with this bird sitting here, and there's like all these finches out, because again, like I am at the age where I have 4 bird feeders and and a little bowl that I use as a bird bath. So I am at that age where, it really does just happen, folks. So, it's almost like a distraction. It's almost like waiting for somebody to come save you, or like waiting to be told to go, or that, it almost feels like 8 of Swords to me, where it's like you feel like you don't have a choice because you're like tied to these wands here, right? And if somebody was like, dude, just do the thing, you'd be like, I can't because of this, right? Like I can't, because in this picture, well, I can't move because I'm tied to these wands. And it's like, yeah, but you could literally untie yourself. And that's kind of how the 8 of Swords is. It's like literally making a different decision. It's feeling like there's no way out, or it's thinking in the 8 of Swords scenario that there's no way out. But it's like literally all you have to do is like make a decision and move, That's literally what this is. And it's also interesting, like I was looking at all of these, the seasons around this card. I'm sure those symbols in there probably have a meaning. I don't know if the book, I've already looked in the book for meanings of other symbols and it didn't have them. So I don't know if, whoops. Representing the ever-turning wheel of fate and the ceaseless cycle of creation and destruction, rising and falling. The Wheel of Fortune is the monkey wrench of the tarot. Whenever life is going smoothly, you know that a gray cloud will soon follow. And likewise, when things aren't going your way, you know that the only place to go from the bottom is back up to the top. Yeah, it doesn't say. I wish. Part of me is like, if you're going to put symbols in like that, it would be amazing for people like me if you, shared. Like what? Your destiny may fall, but it will also rise again. And this card, and that could even be what is causing this lack of action. It's like a fear that the other shoe is going to drop, or it's going to turn out a certain way, or, it's like based on past experience. But also it's like one of those things, like you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience, and whatever didn't work in the past, you have information on it, especially like with the first line. The first line loves information. And, with the fourth line, maybe that had to do with other people in some capacity, or relationships in some capacity, networks, communities, something along those lines. But again, that first line, it's information. And the lie over here is like, I want to do this thing, or I can feel the energy. Like I can feel like I want to start moving the wheel, but like something is stopping you. And it's, I mean, obviously, literally yourself, right? I get it. I get that. Over here, for the truth, we have the Four of Cups, Six of Pentacles, and Temperance, which is the other Sagittarius card. So Sagittarius energy or Jupiter. And again, you know, Jupiter is in Cancer right now, but Jupiter also represents Pisces. So if those have significance for you, it is interesting though that the two Jupiter cards, like the two Sagittarius basically, you know, cards are out here. I mean, this is specifically Sagittarius, but the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. So again, you know, I mean, that is Pisces as well. Even, you know, with Jupiter being in Cancer, if you know where Cancer is for you, and again, I know, you know, obviously these are human design readings. I don't know what gate. Let's see. Gate 24, realizing and return. As of mid 2024 through June 2025, Jupiter is transiting through the sign of Gem. Oh, well, dang it. It didn't register. Gate 53. Interesting, because this article, okay, let me just maybe read this a little bit before I start fucking talking. Where is, let me grab my, chart that I have like all these notes on. Gate 53 is in the root. Okay. Okay, so this is from denisematthew.com. This was posted on January 7th, 2026. And in the picture, a true beginning doesn't push. It arrives when your life is finally prepared for it. I feel like over here, this is saying that you are prepared for it, that you are ready for it, because it is in the position of the lie. So if you're telling yourself that you're not ready, that you don't have enough information, that you don't have enough of a plan, whatever, you know, the case may be, let me just read this first paragraph too. The least you need to know. Jupiter returns to gate 53, restarting the engine of new beginnings. Whatever you were preparing or considering back in August or to September 2025 may resurface now with a clearer purpose or might start showing results. Gate 53 brings the pressure to initiate a new cycle, but Jupiter adds meaning, expansion, and destiny to the impulse. I'm not going to lie, like honestly, this is reading a little bit like ChatGPT. But and then with Chiron and Gate 50 or Gate 42, which is in the sacral, it's the other side of that channel. New beginnings may come with the concept of needing to let go of something too. This is not about rushing into everything. It's about choosing beginnings you are truly ready to complete. Spiritually, educationally, professionally, and personally, this transit opens the door for a fresh start that can reshape your path in significant ways. I will try to remember to put this, to link this in the description for your video if you want to read the whole thing. I'm glad that I read that. Because like over here, right, like I'm kind of like just staring at these cards. The Four of Cups usually talks about boredom, lethargy, disappointment. Cups have to do with our emotions, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our lives, the people, that are in them, what we're doing. It's, love. And what is our relationship to love? How do we give it? But more importantly, how do we receive it? It's intuition, empathy, compassion. And this card, though, to me, is feeling more... It almost kind of feels more... And that there's a crab on their headscarf is interesting, because, again, over here with Cancer, we were just talking about, Cancer or Jupiter in Cancer. Yeah, Jupiter in Cancer. Interesting, correlation there. But it feels more about like getting clear on what it is that you want to focus on. It could even just be choosing one thing. It's also even maybe the like Marie Kondo effect of choose the thing that feels most good to you, not the thing that you're dreading, or not the thing that you feel like you have to do. None of that shoulda, coulda, woulda, like none of that type of energy, but doing the things, again, that feel good. And if that does have to do with some sort of community outreach, some sort of charity, mentoring. You have the fourth line, so it's also your best opportunities are going to be found within your network, within the people that you know. It could just be like putting a little birdie out there, speaking of, putting a little birdie out there, which, is just putting the word out there that you are looking for, like whatever experience you are, that you're looking to make connections in certain ways. If you're looking for a job, if you're, looking for a relationship, whatever it is, even making your services available, whatever that is, because Pentacles do have to do with our money. The Six of Pentacles talks about, and we can see that, this person is offering them cake. And, this person is taking a drink out of a cup, so it's sharing your knowledge, sharing your time, investing your money into something. It could also be that you would be receiving financial assistance, or you would be receiving some sort of charity or donation, or for me with the Six of Pentacles, there's not usually like any strings attached. It could even be a scholarship or a grant. It could be meeting a mentor. Also, like the Four of Cups said, an offer is extended. An opportunity is unnoticed or actively ignored. Brooding or overanalyzes causes one to miss out on real and present possibilities, thoughtfulness, contemplation. So this is also, it's like something that you need to be available to receive. And even if it doesn't, the offer, whatever it is, like even if it doesn't come to you in a specific way that you expected, don't poo-poo it because it doesn't look a certain way, right? Like you don't know if, well, you do know because I'm going to tell you, but we really never know like where it could actually take us. With the Six of Pentacles, it says a gift, most often of money, compassion and charity for the sake of impressing others, making a show of one's benevolence, begging, carefully weighing what is spent, being fed up with expense after expense, or with people's asking for one's charity, giving or taking of energy without a fair exchange in return, not getting fair pay for one's work, doing something extremely nice out of pity for another, one who gives to others only what they must, a small favor, wheeling and dealing, accepting help or offering help, being in a position of inequality, submission. I feel like that pretty much covered like the gambit of like everything. And it really could be a worth thing. Even, did this say like Jupiter adds meaning, expansion, and destiny to the impulse? But also, I just wonder if it's still in gate 53. I think that probably, yeah, it is. 53, line 1. So, with this Temperance card over here, it's interesting because it's like it's a different type of change. But it's alchemy, right? It's turning water into wine. I always think of tempering chocolate, right? And like you have to go through certain steps in order to properly temper chocolate. Otherwise, like if you try to skip steps, if you rush through them, it like will ruin the chocolate and you have to start all over again. So this card talks about patience, going through the process, not to mention too, which is really interesting, they have 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the ground, which usually Temperance does anyway, but, and then we have water and we have earth here. So there's something about what's going on for you emotionally. Where do you feel maybe unfulfilled emotionally? Where are you maybe, again, like overanalyzing, maybe even like getting confused or overwhelmed by emotion in here, regardless of if you are emotionally defined or not. Of course, if you are emotionally defined, you would want to go through your wave before making decisions. And then over here, it's like, where do you want to invest your energy? Whether you're getting paid for it or not, right? Like, don't, if you're volunteering or if you are, offering to be a mentor to somebody, or again, even if you are accepting something from somebody else, it's making sure that there's an equal exchange of energy happening there. And then there's there's something that starts blending. There's something that starts working here. That could be you figuring out what you want. That could be you figuring out the relationship of this thing to you. I mean, this article was talking about new cycles. Whoops. And that could even be what the Temperance card is, because it's like now you have more information. Now there may be a clearer path forward. There could be a clearer vision of how you want to approach this and what you do want to start with, or what you want to focus on, and how you want to present that, or how that's going to be externally expressed. Or taking, practical action towards something. Very interesting. I feel like we did end up getting really grounded towards the end here. So that's good. We started off a little chaotic, but we got there. Thank you. I'm going to leave it there. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.